Hi students, I hope all are fine. So in the last class we saw about the poem The Road Not Taken. We just had a revision towards it, and in today's class we'll just discuss with some of the questions and answers regarding the poem The Road Not Taken, written by Robert Frost. So without much of introduction we shall enter into the revision part. So there are some questions for which we have already answered. So I'm just taking this just to revise so that it will be a great help for you when you write your exam. Okay. So first question: where does the traveler find himself? What problem does he face? Okay, where does the traveler find himself and what was the problem that he was facing? Now, the answer is this: the traveler finds himself standing on a fork in the path. He is in a problem as he must choose one path and is unable to decide which one to choose. Okay, so the traveler, where does he find himself? He finds himself between or in front of two roads, and that was the situation in which he was, and he had a great doubt to so as to which path he had to choose. So that was the problem which he was facing. And second question: discuss what these phrases mean to you. So we have some 5 phrases. So we need to discuss what are these phrases which are given in the poem meaning. Okay. So we shall just see. First phrase is this, that is a yellow wood. So what do we mean by an yellow wood? A yellow wood. So a yellow wood refers to the forest which has withering leaves as in the season of autumn. It represents a world full of aging people. Okay, yellow wood. Yellow wood means, okay, as the poet was walking, he found that all the trees were yellowish in color. So that yellowness means it was a season of autumn. So what does it mean? During the season of autumn, the leaves they fall down. Okay, they become dry and they fall down. So that shows that people, okay, that regarding to us, we are also getting aged, isn't it? So we also will fall down, means to say we also will depart from this world because of our age. So that is the meaning of yellow wood. Okay, yellow wood means that it is in the season of autumn. The leaves are all yellowish in color. So that shows that represents human beings who are getting aged. Then second, it was grassy and wandered where. Okay, what do we mean by this phrase? It was grassy and wandered where. It means that the path had a lot of grass on it. Okay, grassy means it had a lot of grass on it. This means that it had not been walked over by many people. It had to be worn out by the steps of the people who walked on it. Okay, so wandered where, it means no one had walked over it and it needed people to walk over it. The area was grassy, means to say that no one had walked over it, and that particular path was inviting people. It had an attraction to be walked over. Okay, so that is the meaning of the phrase it was grassy and wandered where. Then the passing there means, it means that when he walked over the path that he had chosen. So passing there means that the poet, as he was passing by, as he was walking through, that is the meaning of this phrase, the passing there. Then leaves no step had trodden black. So what do we mean by this phrase? That is, it means that no one had walked over the leaves as they were still green. If they had been walked over, they would have turned black. Okay, so as you know, during the season of autumn, we would see leaves falling down. Okay, leaves falling down. So here, the poet could watch that the fallen leaves were not trodden black. Tread means walk. Okay, walk over. Trodden means it is a past participle form of tread. Okay, so that's why it is said no one had walked over that leaves. For example, if you take a leaf and just stamp on it, after some time you will see this leaf becoming dark. So now when the poet looked at the path, he could find leaves fallen down and no leaves were turned black. Okay, he could see so many yellow leaves and also some green leaves. Okay, so he could see that and he understood that no one had walked over it. If someone had walked over those leaves, it would have turned black. That's why it is said no step, leaves, no step had trodden black. Then, next, how way leads on to way. Here it means that as we walk on a path, we come across more options and make choices further. We keep on walking ahead on that way. So how way leads on to way. It means, okay, as we walk, okay, if we choose a path, we will have a many choices. Means to say, okay, if we choose one path to reach one direction, we can take maybe another path in order to reach a destination. So there can be many directions to reach one destination. So that is the meaning how way leads on to way. The one choice that you make will lead to another. Okay, so just like that, if you take one path, that path will lead to another path, that path will lead to another path in most of the cases. But there are also some places or some paths which lead to only one destination or which has only one direction to reach a destination. That we have to keep in mind when we read this at how way leads on to way. Then next, is there any difference between the two roads as the poet describes first in the stanzas 2 and 3? So now we need to find out, is there any difference between the road or between the outlook of the poet towards the road in the second and third stanza? Third, okay, the second and third stanza and also the last two lines. So first we shall see, is there any difference in the second and third stanza? So the two paths were similar. This is what we see in the second and third stanzas. Okay, the two paths were similar in the beginning. The poet felt that one of them was grassy and had not been walked over by many people. But when he walked on it for some distance, he realized that it was like the other road. Okay, so in the beginning, the poet could understand that the paths were not that similar. Okay, so in the beginning, he thought everything to be different. So the poet felt, okay, one of them was there was grass and so on. Then there is another which was not walked by many people. So he had a kind of difference in this two paths in the second and third stanzas. But in the fourth line, what does he say? We shall see. Here again the poet talks of his initial decision. Okay, in the beginning he thought they were similar, and as he was just looking into it, he found that they were not similar. Okay, because one was wanted where another one was full of grassy. Okay, then he understood. Now in the fourth line, towards the last two lines, what does the poet say? So here the poet talks his initial decision when he thought that the roads were different and chose the one that had been walked over by a less number of people. So here in the fourth, towards the last two lines, what does the poet say? So the poet talks of his initial decision that, okay, they were similar, but one was walked by many people and the other one was not that walked by many people, but people had been walking over both these roads. So that was a realization the poet got towards the end of this end of the poem. Okay, so that is this poem, the road not taken. I hope you have understood. You can revise it well. So thanks to everybody, and bye.